We are taking a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. We're going to start with the Nation newspaper. And we have a guest here with us. We have Barrister Justice Ojeno. He is here with us to help us, get a better perspective on what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. Welcome.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure to be with you.
It is our pleasure also. Have you ever tried a wordplay with your name, Barrister Justice?
Yes, justice. Sometimes when I introduce myself in court, the judges ask that, what justice are you? Have you already ascended to the bench? I tell them that it's by name.
Wow.
Okay. So someday if you become a Chief Justice,
do I want that kind of life? Do I want, their life is remote and they're in some shell somewhere. Their life is not interesting. I don't enjoy it at all. Despite the fact that they have all the power and all the prestige.
Well, we have some interesting headlines coming up now. We're going to start with the cover of the Nation newspaper. It says here, APC chairman to aggrieved lawmakers, hold your fire. Zoning of National Assembly top posts not final. So what's your view on this particular headline, and where do you think it's going?
For me, I think that the matters have been decided. And I think it is now beyond maybe the leaders of the party to be able to change whatever it is that has been decided. But politics having some form of similarity with the judiciary, they must still listen to the other parties, and they must be seen to have listened to them. Okay, if they don't listen to them, that holds more trouble. So because of that, I think that the horse has actually left the stable on this issue. They will not be able to change the names that have already gone out. What should happen? Should an Akpabio or should Tajuddin lose those positions that the party has maybe deliberately, even though they are saying it's a leak, deliberately come out to actually say, okay, these are the persons that we are rallying behind. And of course, it's a good decision, because if a party doesn't rally behind them now, it will leave room for what happened in 2015, where fifth columnists maybe in the party will go and conspire with maybe less popular people, less endorsed people.
Just to get the numbers that they need.
Just to get the numbers that they need. And it will eventually do harm to the incoming government. Because as much as possible, despite the fact that we talk about the doctrines of separation of power and checks and balances, there must still be some synergy. The executive and the legislature must be seen to be able to cooperate on major issues in order to be able to deliver the dividends of governance to the Nigerian people.
Wonderful. I like that, Barrister. So let's move on to the Punch. And of course, the major headline is still the same headline. Of course, that's APC moves to pacify aggrieved aspirants. Like you said, it's all politics as well. But what I want to point out is something above the flag of the paper there. Debt servicing hits $112 million monthly. Servicing. This is from
debt servicing.
And just 2 days ago, the reports are coming in that the president has sought approval of $800 million from the Senate. And you see, there is no issue with, America owes the most. There's no issue with debt.
Absolutely, more than $30 trillion.
Okay, you understand? But the issue is can we see the dividends, like you said, of what are these monies being used for? If for servicing now, we know that this one has been, we've heard about, of course, it's for the impending removal of subsidy for when it comes to palliatives, as it were. Yeah. And someone said it was that, I don't know how, because they said it's going to be a direct share to people and all that. $800 million. Palliatives for subsidy removal. We know it's going to come. We know it's going to hit hard. How does this all factor in? How does it all make sense?
Okay, for me, I think it's going to be very, very hard, especially let's start with the palliative issue. How do you distribute? How do you directly give to the persons who are going to be impacted? So that modality has not been arrived at by...
I think it was supposed to be 5,000 naira or something like that.
5,000 naira to whom?
But it does feel like that's sort of increasing the challenges, because once you increase some people's lifestyle, later down the line, they will expect more constantly.
Absolutely. Yeah. You are increasing the social dependence of people. I'm not saying the government shouldn't have a social role of maybe directly intervening by giving cash subventions to citizens. But at the same time, we shouldn't make it a staple. A bigger issue is the fact that we cannot even account for these amounts. that are being doled out. If it's something that, okay, we can get to, okay, this particular amount was actually in reality given to this person, and it's not a ghost, and it is not a pretense to either inflate or waste money generally, then we may not be able to, we won't be here, we won't be really clamoring for. But we know the penchant of the people in power so far. We've known that they are not big on accounting. They are not big on coming out to tell the people that this is actually what we use the money for.
When you want to create a soft landing pad, you give me 5,000, and then I go to the filling station, it's 700 to 800, as it were, for a liter. Is that the best way to ensure that it's a soft landing for the populace when it comes to that?
For me, if we are to really deal with this albatross in the room, I think that subsidy at some point will be removed. Every pundit has actually said that. Everybody that has, because the Minister for Finance already said, I think at some point last year, that at some point we won't even have a funding to finance capital projects. So everything will go into recurrent and debt servicing as we currently have.
Yes.
So at some point we will face it and it will be removed. But as per that palliative, and that's why I keep saying that, they are not giving us acceptable explanations as to how they will be able to really palliate or appease the persons that are going to be impacted, because it's going to be across board.
Across board.
And it's not going to be an elitist thing, and it's not also going to be a middle class thing. It's not going to be
we know how
downtrodden thing.
It's the economy. Economy is run on fuel. So we know how it is. The market woman pepper will
Yes.
go up.
Yeah, sure. The bread
Salt
sellers
will
will
go
go
up.
up.
Fish will go up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Labor might be even worse impacted, because at some point, persons that you have pegged their salary, minimum wage is 30,000 naira, maybe the amount that it will cost to commute to their place of work is maybe 2,000 naira per day. There is no incentive to go to work. Let them go and beg.
Let me jump on or piggyback on the word commute there, as the headline on the cover of The Guardian says, underutilization, debts hobble the $4.12 billion rail rehabilitation projects. Now, in order to sort of reduce the overheads or what the average Nigerian is spending, projects like the rail project should assist with that situation. But where do you think this is going to go, since it is still the issue of debt we're still talking about, still talking finance?
Because these are projects that should have already been running.
Sure.
And then we see that, okay, because we can't be starting these projects now. I mean, look at the routes. How many routes do we even have?
You understand?
How do this, for now, we are talking about where's the marina, the blue rail, the one that we have now. How many? I know, yes, you can take a number, but how many people are using that route? Is it a route that...
We have more than 20 million coming
in this city. You understand? And we don't all use it. I mean,
we don't all use only that corridor. We commit in various directions, nexus. In a day. In a day, you commit in various places.
Exactly.
Even as just one individual. So we are talking about 20 million people. Maybe we are talking about commuting maybe 60 million or 80 million or 100
far
million.
Much more by the time you the combinations and all of that. It's
so the connections are not even anywhere near where we are supposed to be. It's only a few states that actually even have these rail projects to even start with. And we may have to give some credit to the present government, because before the revamping of the rail transportation, it was in the colonial times. That did way before he now decided that, okay, he wants to take it up again from where, maybe if he had more resources, maybe they would have been able to do more. But we see that he has been borrowing in order to be able to even finance the little that we have. And even the borrowing, a lot of it are not transparent.
That's just amazing.
We're talking about how much do we owe China?
Very soon
That's
you might have a Chinese
question.
name or something.
Very good question.
But you see, I would think that for a good start, I mean, if we look at the Ibadan, Lagos Rail, if we start interstate first, if we can commute interstate via rail, and we can, understand, then we can start thinking of metro in the state, because for now, it's not something that we can say, oh, the rail is going to act as some sort of palliative to transport. No, not enough, but interstate, maybe. Yeah. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Barrister, it was a pleasure.
We'll definitely be following up with these stories on the headlines in the dailies in coming days, next week.
Yeah, definitely. Next week.